You've studied it in 8th grade, remember?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Hmm. What are rational numbers?
ma'am.
Yeah, anything, whatever you know, it's okay. Even if the answer is not right, it's totally okay. It's not a test. You're not being graded. Let's just see what all you remember. Okay.
Like,
Yes. Huh? It's okay.
ma'am, I don't remember.
Sorry.
I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember. All right. Okay, so first, let's go back even before rational numbers. Do you remember the first type of numbers that you studied?
What, ma'am?
The first type of numbers that you studied when you came to school. What were the first numbers that you learned?
Whole numbers, integers.
Very good. So let's start with before whole numbers. We have something called natural numbers. Do you know what are natural numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Natural numbers. There's no zero except zero.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, etc.
Very good. So it starts from 1 and then 2,
Yes,
3
ma'am.
and so on. It goes on till infinity,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
All right. And what are whole numbers? You mentioned whole numbers as well. What are
Whole
whole
number
numbers?
means zero is also included in that.
Very good. Zero is included in when zero is included in natural numbers, then it becomes this
Whole
collection is
number.
called whole numbers. Very good. And then you said integers. What are integers now?
In integers there are negative and positive numbers.
Negative and positive whole numbers,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So 0, 1, 2, and so on. And then -1, -2, and
Minus
so
2.
on. Okay, so it is over here it goes on till negative infinity. Over here it goes on till positive infinity. All right. So that's integers. Next, any other type of numbers other than integers and all of these?
Yes, ma'am. I think rational number
Rational
and
numbers.
irrational number.
Okay, can you give some examples?
Rational number.
Okay, even forget about rational numbers. When you were in 5th or 6th grade, you studied about fractions. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Fractions. So we haven't included fractions anywhere yet, have we? So there's no fractions in integers, there's no fractions in whole numbers or natural numbers. So we have to include fractions as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Acha, before we continue, I would just like to ask you, which language are you more comfortable in communicating? English or Hindi, Urdu?
Yes, ma'am. English, okay, ma'am.
English is
English.
fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So fractions, we have fractions, all right. 2 by 5, 1 by 4, etc. Okay. Now we know one more thing, which is called decimals, right? Can you give me an example of a decimal?
Like 2.5
Okay, 2.5.
and
How about 0.1?
yes, ma'am. 0.1,
Yeah.
0.2,
So
0.3.
yeah. So we know that fractions and decimals can be changed into each other. We know this, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you give me an example? 1 by 10, if you convert it into fraction, what will it become?
It will become
1 by 10. This is a fraction. We want to make it into a decimal. What will it become?
uh,
Yes. Okay, how do we change something to a from a fraction to a decimal?
hmm,
Do you know? It's okay if you don't know. Say if you don't know, then be very clear and say, ma'am, I don't remember, because it's okay. We tend to forget things that we studied last year, right? So it's okay. Just be very clear and say, ma'am, I forgot. So, okay. When we convert something from a fraction to a decimal, let's say, if I'm talking about half, 1/2, okay, half. What is this in decimal? Half.
Uh,
Think about it. You know the answer. I know you know the answer. Hmm.
half.
Half. Let's say you got 24 marks in math, okay? And
Yes.
your teacher says, I am giving all of you grace marks, half mark, I will give you more. So it becomes 24 point
24 point 50. 50.
5,
Yes, ma'am.
0.5, 24.5, right? So half means 0.5. Why? Because you see, when we're talking about the number line, over here, if we have 0 and here we have 1, so between 0 and 1, there's, if you divide this into 10 tiny divisions, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, then 0.5 is going to be exactly midway, and this is going to be 0.5. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
how? Because this is, let me just zoom in, let me show you. We have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4,
0.4.
then this one is 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then 1. Okay, because if you do 0.9 plus, again you are increasing by 0.1, right? Each time you are increasing by 0.1. So when you increase it by 0.1, 9 plus 1 is 10, 0 plus 1 is 1. So this becomes 1.0, on, in other words, 1, right?
Uh, like how you got one, ma'am? Like
How did I get 1?
after
So
0.9
after,
to 0.10, right?
okay, what is 0.10? 0 point, this is, there's nothing as 0.10. You will read it as 0.10. Okay,
Oh,
we don't read it as 10. Okay, for example, if we have something like 3.14, you will not read it as 3.14. It is
yes, ma'am.
3.14. Okay, why? Because 14 is a number. 14 is a number. Let me just make this very clear to you. In any number, we have ones, tens, hundreds. What are these called?
Hundreds, tens, and ones,
Yeah,
tens, and
what is this called? What is this called? These are called places, right?
yes, ma'am.
Ones place, tens place, hundreds place, and so on. So
Yes.
if you say 324, this means that whatever number you are talking about, it has three hundreds. 100, the number 100 is there 3 times. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so let's say if I say that Riaz has 324 bucks. Okay, he has 324 rupees. That means we can say it's equal to having, or if I say that I have to give Riaz 324 rupees, then how can I give him 324 rupees? I can say I'm taking 100 rupee notes. How many 100 rupee notes will I take? 3. Yes?
Ma'am.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
How many 10 rupee notes will I take?
Uh, 30.
How many 10 rupee notes will I take? What is this number? Read this number again.
324.
324.
24.
24. So 24, right? I am having 10 rupee notes. I need to make it how much? 20. So how many of these do I need?
Uh,
Yes. I need to make it 20 rupees. How many 10 rupee notes should I give you so that you get 20 rupees?
2.
2, exactly. See, if you're not understanding my question, then you can always ask, ma'am, I didn't understand the question. Okay, I can repeat it in a different way. Now I have to give you 1 rupee coins. Okay. So I have given you till now 300 rupees. And then I have given you 20 rupees. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because these are 100 rupee notes. I have given you 3 of those notes. So I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
given you 300 rupees plus I have given you 2 notes of 10 rupees. That means I have given you 20 rupees. Now I have to give you how many coins of 1 rupee each so that it becomes
4.
324. Very good. I have to give you 4 coins. So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
are these? These are all called place values. Do you remember place value?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these are all place values. 320 and 4. These are all place values. So if I ask you what is this number or how many tens does this number have? How many tens does this number have? What will you say? It has how many tens? How many tens?
Yes.
2 tens. Very good. And how many hundreds does this number have? How many hundreds does this number have?
3.
3 hundreds. Okay. Now the problem with this kind of number is that if you call it 14, this number is 14. Okay. Now tell me how many tens does 14 have? How many
1.
tens are there?
1.
1. Very good. How many ones are there?
4.
Very good. Now look at this number 3.14. This number we have ones, tens, okay? And then we have over here after the ones we have the decimal point and then we have the tenth, small t, okay? We write it like this. Tenths. All right. And then we have the small h, which is basically hundredths. All right. So this is, are you understanding what is T stands for? Small t and small h?
Tens and hundreds.
Okay. Now our number 3.14. Can I call this number as 14 now? Think very carefully. Can I call this number as 14? Because 14, the number 14 is supposed to have 1 tens and it's supposed to have 4
Uh,
ones.
1.
So does this number have 1 tens? 1 tens? Is there a 1 over here?
No, ma'am.
No. Is there a 4 in the ones?
No, ma'am.
No. So we cannot call it 14. Are you understanding why we cannot call it 14?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So we call it 3.14. So similarly, this number is not 0.10. This number is what? Tell me.
0.14. 0.10.
Very good. 0.10.
Yes,
Now, 0.10 can also be written as 0.1 because the last 0, like just like I say, if I say 04 and if I say 4, is it the same thing or different?
Uh, is it the same thing?
The same thing, right? So if I say 04.5 or I say 4.5, same thing or different?
Same.
Same. this 0 is called a leading 0. Okay. You don't have to remember this. You don't have to remember this. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
similarly, if I have a number which is, let's say, 6.3, and if I have a number that is 6.30, now these two zeros, the 0 before the decimal point, okay, the leading 0, and this one, the one at the very end, this is called the trailing 0. Okay, again, you don't have to remember this, but just remember one thing, that these two zeros don't make a difference in your number. Just like 04.5 and 4.5 is the same thing. Similarly, 6.3 and 6.30 is the same thing. Are you
Yes.
understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
So now tell me, can we write 0.10 as 0.1?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can. It's the same thing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, one more thing, Riaz, if at any point you think I am going fast, tell me that, ma'am, I need to, I need you to slow down. Can you please repeat? Okay. If you want me to repeat anything that I said, please feel free to say so. Okay. You can ask me to repeat anytime.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, all right. So, we were over here. You were asking me, why is it not 0.10? Why? Because it is actually 0. If
One.
you are saying 0.10, but this is actually 0.1, and 0.1 is over here at the very beginning. So it's not the same thing, na? So what we are doing here,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
did we get this? See, to go from 0.2 to 0.3, what will you do? You will take this 0.2, okay, and you will add a 0.1. You will add a 0.1, okay, and then what you will get is 0.3. That
Yes,
is
ma'am.
how you get 0.3. So now, from going from 0.9, if you want to go one step forward, that means if you want to go 0.1 forward, what do you have to do? You have to take 0.9 and you have to add what to it?
It is 0.1.
0.1. Very good. Then if you add them, what will you get?
Uh,
9 plus 1 is 10.
10.
And then there is a decimal point over here, okay? And then 1 plus 0 is 1. So what do we get?
Uh, we will get 1.0.
1.0. And 1.0 is the same thing as,
0.
it is 1,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So that is how we got 1. Is your doubt cleared now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, yeah, we were coming to this. We were talking about how 0.5 is the same thing as half. Yes or no? Is it the same
Yes,
thing as
ma'am.
half or not?
Yes, ma'am. It is.
It is. Okay. Can you tell me 1 by 10? If I want to change it to a decimal, what does it become?
Uh,
Think.
it become it will become 1.
Acha. What is 1 by 10? If I say 1 by 10, that means I take this 0 and 1. Okay.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
divide it into 10 portions. Okay. I divide it into 10 portions. Just like, if think about it like this, if I have, okay, forget about a circle. Let's say I have a chocolate, okay? I have a long piece of chocolate. I divide it into 5 portions. Each portion will be equal to how much? Which fraction?
Uh, I'm going to ask, can you ask the question again?
Yeah, my question is, this colored portion, this yellow colored portion, imagine
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is, this entire thing is a chocolate, and this is one portion of that chocolate. So what is this portion in fraction? How do I write this portion in fraction?
1/5.
Very good. It is 1 by 5. Why? Because one portion is colored out of how many total portions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why we wrote 5 here. Okay. Now, similarly, if I want to talk about, I have taken this entire length, okay, and divided it into how many portions? 10 portions.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now each of these portions from here to here is going to be how much?
Uh, each of
How
the
many
portion,
portions? Tell me.
there are
See,
10 portions,
yeah,
so it will
very
be
good. It will be,
it will be 1/10.
very good, very good. It will be 1 by 10. If it's possible, can you please switch on your camera?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Are you able to hear me? Very good.
No. It's like what's that?
Can you hear me now?
Hello? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You can hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I was asking, um, yeah. So one portion is colored out of 10. So we say 1 by 10. Okay. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now this 1 by 10, again, remember this. Over here
Yes,
it
ma'am.
was what? What was the first one? We divided this into 10 portions. What was the first portion?
It was 1.
What is this called? Which decimal is
0.
it? 0.1, right? We had
Yes, ma'am.
divided this entire length from 0 to 1. We had divided it into 10 portions. And the
Yes, ma'am.
first one was 0.1. And over here, the first one is,
It's 0.1.
yeah. So 1 by 10 is what?
0.
0.1. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, whenever you have a 10 in the denominator, the rule to what you need to do to convert this fraction into a decimal is
Yes,
to
ma'am.
just imagine that, see, we have already discussed that 1 and 1.0 is the same thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you just think that there is a point over here in front of the 1, okay, and this is 1 divided by 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now what we need to do is, if our point or if our number is being divided by 10, then the decimal point will go to the left. How many places to the left it will go? As as many places as the number of zeros in the denominator. So how many zeros are there in the denominator?
1.
1 0 is there. Hai na? In 10, there is 1 0. So our decimal point will go one place to the left, which is 0.1.
0.1.
The decimal place will come over here. So it becomes 0.1.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what it will become. So that is how we got this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now, since we have other students also joining us, we will continue with what we had studied in the previous class. But Riaz, I would highly recommend you please revise your eighth grade, whatever you had studied in eighth grade. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And again, let me just brief it to you. Rational numbers are basically fractions. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In short, I'm just summarizing it for you because we have to move forward also. So inshallah, we will get back to this some other day. The basics that we were covering, inshallah, we'll get back to it. But your homework is to go and revise your eighth grade. All right. So let me just open the exercise. Give me a minute. Okay. So Abdul Jabbar, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, can I leave?
No, no, you have to stay.
Oh.
Hmm. Where is all right. So we were talking about exercise 1.3, right, Abdul Jabbar?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. So have you completed your homework? Question number 1 and 2.
No, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. Okay. So let's do one thing. Abdul Jabbar, you do the homework right now in the
Okay,
class.
ma'am.
And when you're done with the first question, the entire first question, all the 6 parts, then let me know.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay.
And by so the question is saying write the following in decimal form and say what kind of decimal expansion each has. So decimal expansion, what does that mean? Is it repeating or is it terminating? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Till then, Riaz, we will do our what we were doing. We will continue that. You there? Riaz, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So this is one way of converting a fraction to a decimal. What is the way? When our denominator is 10. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Riaz?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
other way is when the denominator is not 10 or any multiple of 10. If it's something like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or any such other number, then what do we have to do? We simply just divide it. Okay. Let's say our
Yes.
number is 5 by 2. How will we do it? 5 by 2 means what? It means 5 divided by 2. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Riaz, please switch on your camera. Okay. Now 5 divided by 2. How do we do this? 5 divided by 2. What should I write?
Yes, ma'am.
Abdul
2
Jabbar,
to
I hope you are doing your the work that was assigned to you.
Yes.
What, ma'am?
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to Abdul Jabbar. Yes, Riaz. 2 twos are 4. Okay, then now what
And
do I
then
write here?
uh, we write uh, 2 point
What should I write over here?
1.
1. So should we end it over here itself?
No, ma'am.
We are in 9th grade, है ना? We know how to use decimals. So what can we do now that the remainder is 1? What can we do?
So, ma'am, it's this 2.5.
2.5. How 2.5? I'm asking what do we need to do?
Um,
Fine, we put a point over here.
yes, ma'am.
Then what do we do after that?
We have to divide with
Divide what by what?
divide 2 with 10. 10.
10. Where is 10? Can we see a 10 anywhere?
No, we have to divide it with in
Serious. When we have such a situation,
yes,
what
ma'am.
we do is, and listen very carefully, okay? When we have such a situation where the remainder, we have gotten a remainder, but we want to continue our division, then we put a point over here and a 0 over here.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
These two things we have to do together. You can't just put a point over here and forget about the 0.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So then you put a point and you put the 0. Now you divide 10 by 2. So you say 2 into what gives you 10? Tell me what will come here.
5.
5. So 2 into 5 is 10. So our remainder now is 0. So what is the answer to this? It is 2.5.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So Riaz, I have a few more questions for you. Let me just a sec. Yeah. So there are two ways that we have learned. Number one, when the denominator is 10, 100, 200, any such number. And number two, when the denominator is not a multiple of 10.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm giving you a few questions, solve these. 36 by 100. 4, 1 by 8. Now listen carefully. In this situation, you have to convert this into an improper, improper fraction. What kind of fraction is this? This is a mixed fraction, right? This is a mixed fraction. How do we convert this into an improper fraction? What do we do? How do we convert this into something like this? This is a mixed fraction. Diaz?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Okay. Do you remember we used to do something like this? We used to do 4 into 8 plus 1. Remember this? 8 foza. What is 8 foza?
Hello? Hello?
Are you able to hear me?
Hello, ma'am?
Am I audible to you? Abdul Jabbar,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Abdul Jabbar, till where have you reached in the first question?
Done, ma'am.
Done the first one? Completed?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So till then, Riaz, your work is to do
Yes,
these
ma'am.
two. Please note down these two questions because I'll be changing the screen very quickly. Note down these two
Yes, ma'am.
questions. Okay. All right. Yes. So
Yes.
Abdul Jabbar, tell me the second one. Tell me the first question, second part. Yeah. 1 by
Yes,
11.
ma'am.
Yeah.
The second one, ma'am.
Yeah. First
0.09
question,
bar.
second part.
0.09 bar.
0.09 bar. Okay. So this is now we have to categorize also. Repeating or terminating.
Non-terminating recurring.
Yeah. So just say repeating or recurring. Okay. Um. All right. Let's come to the fourth one. 3 by 13. What is this?
Ma'am, 0.230769 bar.
0.230769
69 bar.
bar. Okay. So again, this is repeating.
Repeating.
Then let's come to the fifth one.
0.18 bar.
0.18 bar. Again, repeating. Tell me the sixth one.
Um, 0.8225.
329 by 400. 0.8225. And this is
Terminating.
terminating. Okay, good. Now, Abdul Jabbar, let's come to the third question. Okay. Have you done this type of question before? Because if you already have and if you know how to do this, then we can quickly move forward. Yes.
No, ma'am.
Third question. You have not done this type of question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. So what you have to do is you have to express the decimal. So till now what we were doing is we were expressing the fraction as a decimal. Now we have to do the opposite of that. We have to express the decimal as the fraction. Okay. So a particular decimal has been given to us, 0.6 bar. You have to convert this into a fraction. Do you have any idea how to do this?
Not sure, ma'am.
No? Okay. So first what we do is, now there is a particular procedure we follow. Okay. So look carefully. We say let x equals 0.6 bar. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how many digits are repeating? The bar is there on top of how many digits?
1.
One digit. So we multiply this with 10. This is our equation number 1. And now we multiply this first equation. We multiply the first equation with 10. Why 10? Because there is one digit that is repeating. Okay. So then what does this become? 10x equals?
6.6.
Very good. 6.6 bar. Or I would prefer that you do this. Do this 0.666. Okay. And then 6.666. Do it like this. Instead of the bar, write it like this. Now, this is our equation number 2. Now what you have to do is equation number 2 minus equation number 1. What does this become? 10x minus x. What's that? Abdul Jabbar? The LHS of the equation, what does it become? Am I audible?
Ma'am, do you have to subtract this too?
Sorry?
Now we have to subtract these two.
Yes. That's what I said. 10x minus x. What does it become? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's just write it step by step. 10x minus x. Okay. So what we are
Not
gonna do is
9x minus 6.
no. See, when you are subtracting two equations, you subtract the LHS from the LHS and the RHS from the RHS. So the equal to sign is going to be as it is. You're not going to touch the equal to sign. Whatever is on the left hand side of the equal to sign, you are going to subtract those things together. And whatever is
9x
on the
is equals to 9.
right hand
6.
side of the equal to sign, you're going to subtract them together. So it's going to be 6.666 minus 0.666 Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now what does the LHS become? 10x
9x
minus
equals to
x,
6.
9x equals to
6.
6. Now take 9 to the other side. X becomes
6 by 9.
6 by 9. And transform this or simplify this fraction.
2 by 3.
2 by 3. So if you want, you can even try solving 2 by 3. 2 divided by 3, and you will see that the answer will come out to be 0.6 bar. Okay, this is how you can do the checking.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can do the checking by yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Now let's do the second question. 0.47
7.
bar. Now the bar is on top of only one digit. It's not on top of the 4. It's on top of only one digit. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here what do we do?
First, we multiply those 2 by 10.
Okay. See, first we say x equals 0.47 bar. Okay, which basically means 0.4777 Fine till here.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how many digits are repeating? The bar is on top of how many digits?
Ma'am, 1.
One digit. So this becomes, then we have to multiply it with
10.
10. So we say we multiply for the first equation with 10. What do we get on the LHS? 10x. And what do we
10x.
get on the RHS?
4.7 bar.
4.777 . Okay. Now this is the second equation. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we do what? Again, second equation minus the first equation. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
What are we left with then? What does it
Ma'am,
become? 10x minus x equals
9x.
9x. And what is the RHS? Minus. And don't forget to put the dots, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
0.477. You can just write 2 sevens and then dot. So let's just try and subtract what it is.
0.
So this entire 777, all of these get cancelled. What we are left with over here is 3, the 0.3, and then 4, 4.3.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what is your x? X becomes
4.3 by 9.
yes.
4.3 by 9.
So now can you you need to convert this into a proper, if you need to convert this into an actual fraction, not that the numerator should not be a decimal. It should be a rational number. P by Q, where P and Q are integers. 4.3 is not an integer. We need to convert this into such a form. What do we do?
Multiplied by 10.
Very good. So 43 by 90.
90.
Done. So this is the answer.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you divide 43 by 90, you will see that it is coming out to be equal to 0.47 bar. Okay.
Okay.
Now your homework, Abdul Jabbar, is I'm going to write these questions. You need to express the following in the form of P by Q. Okay.
Okay.
Riaz, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you done those two questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But just a minute, we will discuss them. I'm giving you more questions later. Okay, that is your homework.
Okay, ma'am.
Just a minute, I'm changing a few things. Yeah, that's all. Please note it down.
Done.
Done. All right. Okay, so you can start doing these questions over here itself. Till the time I'll just deal with Riaz. Yes, Riaz. Your questions. 36 by 100. What did you write for 36 by 100? Riaz?
Hello? Ma'am, the answer is
Yes, Riaz.
0.36.
0.36. Okay. What did you write for 4 1 by 8?
For 4 1 by 8, I wrote 0.33.
Okay. First, it's not going to be 0.33. First,
Yes,
you need to
ma'am.
tell me what will this become when you change it into an improper fraction in something like this. What will it become? How do we change it? We just now saw how we change it. 4 multiplied by 8. 4 eights are
32.
32. 32 plus 1,
33.
33. So numerator is 33 and denominator is the same, 8.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is our fraction. Now 33 by 8, you need to convert this into decimal. 33 by 8. Can you please uh, tell me now what to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes. How do we divide it now?
yes, ma'am. We
How
get
do we divide it?
8 fours are 32,
Very good. 8 fours are 32. Then
and then 1.
1. Okay. Then
So after that,
hmm. See, when you get a remainder, always remember the next thing to do is point 0.
0.0.
Point in the quotient, 0 in the remainder. Okay? Point and 0. Now, 8 into what? Hmm.
8 ones are,
Very good. 8 ones are. Then
and then we get 2.
2 as the remainder. Now again we can put 0. We don't need to put another decimal point here because we already have a point.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
We can freely put a 0. So we put a 0 now.
And then eh, we can put 16.
What
8
should I
twos are
write over here? 8 twos are.
2.
8 twos are 16. Abdul Jabbar, any questions? Any doubts?
No.
No? Okay. हाँ अब बताइए रियाज मुझे यहाँ क्या लिखना चाहिए
4.
4. Now I can write a 0 or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Then अब क्या हो जाएगा?
And 5.
8 fives are
40.
40. And then 0.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So what is the answer?
4.125.
125. Riaz, I am giving you some practice questions. Okay.
What, ma'am?
I am giving you some practice questions for homework.
Ma'am.
You have
Okay,
to
ma'am.
convert these into decimals.
Okay, ma'am.
And always remember, Riaz and Abdul Jabbar, you as well. One rule that I always have for my students is that if you don't know something, it is okay to admit that we don't know something, but it's not okay to cheat. Okay, it's not okay to search for your answers from the internet, or if the teacher has given you some calculations to solve, it's not okay to go and use a calculator and solve it, because in that way you're not going to learn anything. So even if you're not able to get the answer, it's totally fine. Come back the next day and tell the teacher that I didn't understand this, I don't remember how to do this, can we please go through this again. So one rule that I'm always going to have is that never ever cheat. Okay, don't try and solve something using the calculator or the internet. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Please note down these questions, Riaz.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the 8 questions for you, Riaz.
Yes,
Abdul
sir.
Jabbar, for you the
Yes,
class is over. Okay.
ma'am.
When are your exams getting over your half yearlies? Abdul
Ma'am,
Jabbar.
Thursday is math.
Sorry?
Thursday is math exam.
Thursday is math exam. What all chapters are coming?
Uh, Number system, polynomials, coordinate geometry, linear equation into variable, lines and angles. That's it.
Okay. And how is your preparation for the rest of the chapters?
Ma'am, I'm in the lines and angles from there. I'm doing it.
Okay, fine. All the best for your exam, and you can always message me in case you need any help in any of the questions.